Hi, welcome to Awake TV. So today Sue and I are going to talk about 5D manifestation. So this topic was given by, I guess, my spiritual team because I should be talking about something new, according to them. That's correct. So 5D manifestation is important to discuss about or starting to discuss about because we are at the 4.8D and we are very close to shifting ourselves to 5D, even though we might be, wobbling to 3D or 5D day by day or minutes by minutes, but it's a still good topic to talk about. So 5D manifestation usually dictated by your core vibration. And this is why it's very important for us to work on ourselves to raise vibration, no matter how high you think you are, until we hit 5D physically, our vibration will be fluctuate. So what do you think about that, Sue?
Um, I agree. And I think for me, the best way to depart my understanding is to give you an example of something I've recently been through.
Mhm.
So I'll try and make the story concise, but recently I had a series of rashes, like it started in certain areas and then it was like whole body rashes. And it would be like if I had gone to the doctor, I would have been told, oh, this is like some kind of contact dermatitis or it's an allergic reaction of some kind, because that's what it looks like. It's very itchy, all the same symptoms of that kind of diagnoses. Um, and I just knew on an instinctual level that it had to do with energy. I knew it was energetic.
Mhm.
So I could go into the 3D explanation for it, and I actually did because I became fearful. I mean, by day 5, I went from having a couple patches to having like over most of my body, and so I started going down the road of, well, maybe I need to change my detergents and uh, evaluating what I have new in my environment, like my body soap, stuff like that. And
Mhm.
I did. I actually eliminated those things and I rewashed my laundry.
Mhm.
um, and even that wasn't doing the trick. And so I think it was day 5. I woke up early and I said to myself, okay, this is good that I woke up early. Let me just go into meditation. Let me step out of fear and get some answers. And so I went into a deep meditation. I went to a place that I call the All, and I was first introduced to this dimension through hypnosis. A friend of mine, Malka Ahern, I hope I say her name the right way. She's a quantum healer like us, and long time ago, I did part of a beta testing of her new program. It's not so new anymore. I think it's been around for 2 years, but I was a beta tester for her. So she hypnotized me and I went to this place and I call it the all. And the reason I call it that is because it seemed to be like a 0 point creation point dimension. In other words, it totally neutral. There's no good or bad. There's just answers. And I knew that after I went there in hypnosis, it was made clear to me that I could come there anytime I wanted at will. I just had to intend to do that. So I was laying in bed and I thought, I'm going to the all. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. The answers are all inside me. And so I did my meditation. I went to visit the all, and I said, okay, what's going on with these rashes? And the clear message that I got is that it's repressed anger. That there's a situation that I don't want to share because there's other people involved and it's
Mhm.
personal for them too, and it's a delicate situation. But I was repressing anger about it, and then sometimes even sadness or like a little bit of despair. It's been an ongoing situation that's affecting my life, and I used to think about it too much, and I got to the point where I wasn't thinking about it anymore because I thought, well, it's not what I want to manifest, right? I don't want to keep thinking about the problem. I want to kind of just let it go and let it resolve itself. But then what I realized in visiting the all is that I had shut off my humanity, my feelings about it. I had imagined that going to neutrality about it would alleviate my pain and suffering about it. And really, what I did was I stopped feeling.
Mm.
And so that was the repressed anger. That was what the rash, that's what my body was telling me. It was saying, no, 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 no. You can stop thinking about it, which is fine because now I'm trying to manifest into 5D what my goals are. And that isn't part of my goals, is thinking about that situation. However, when it does come up, I still have to feel it. I still have to, if I'm angry, I have to feel that anger. If I'm sad, I have to feel it sadness. And we've talked about this in relation to other topics, but
Yeah.
it's a kind of a universal thing. We cannot sidestep or bypass our humanity, no matter how high our vibration gets. We still have human bodies. We still have human issues. And so, that's what I learned about that. And pretty much as soon as I had that realization, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to allow to myself to feel it. Guess what? Rash free, gone.
Wow. Wow.
And I still have a little bit of dry skin in the areas where the rash was intense, and I did a lot of scratching, but a little lotion, no problem. The thing is, um, part of keeping the vibration, the core vibration and the frequency high, um, is not bypassing our humanity. But what it is it's like, we've talked about it so many times. Feel it, allow yourself. Usually it dissipates quite quickly when we just allow it. And then keep our focus on that thing or those series of things that we want to have in our reality. Because I really truly don't know any person on the planet that has no issues, that has no problems. Um, I I just I just think that it's probably not possible in this dimension. Um, but if we want to get to the dimension where we don't really have worries and stresses, we have to learn to get through them in such a way where we're accepting of them instead of trying to bypass them or ignore them or deny them. Or, it's, I think denying an issue or the feelings about an issue is just as bad as over paying attention to it. I know I could have said that probably differently. Paying too much attention to it or obsessing about it. I think those two dynamics are just as harmful to our energy fields. So you don't want to go into denial and you don't want to fixate. Some kind of nice balance, right?
Yeah.
And we're always talking about balance. It doesn't matter what topic we're discussing, you and I every week. If we don't find balance, I mean, 0 point creationship is just that. It's a neutrality. It's a total balance. But it doesn't mean you never feel the darkness or you never you're in the light all the time. What it means is, as you're going through experience, you say you're neutral and you say, I'm not going to call it good or bad. It just is. Now, the important thing is, how am I responding to it? And that topic goes into the Christ consciousness, which is compassion, love, understanding for ourself and the other person. So that's my rash story. That's my what I've been through recently, and what I learned about myself is that and my goal is to kind of start shifting to no history, almost like I'm starting from scratch. Like every single day is a brand new reality as opposed to living in past dogma. I don't know if that's the way to go, but it's kind of a thought that's been rolling around in my brain for a while. So we'll see. If I can at least stay in the present moment, then I think that's getting somewhere. What do you have?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Um, when we are going through challenge, right, or difficulties, I've been noticing this because my ability is pretty strong. It's not like I have to train myself to get my clairaudient ability or channeling ability. I could just do it, right? And
Mhm.
clairvoyant ones, after my first BQH session, I received clearly and decided to open up my extra skills, and then from there I could see. So I never trained, but when I personally go through challenging time or difficulties or dark night of soul, I still can channel and create content for social media. But outside of that, when I'm looking for the conversation or advice or something, I don't hear anything. Maybe I should be initiating conversation, but after I reach certain point, everybody kind of stayed in the back and then they stopped telling me what to do. I mean, I seriously don't like anybody telling me what to do. Maybe that might be the reason. But before that, my guide or my angels are quite, opinionated about what I should be doing and this and that. But I don't know, last few years, they kind of stop talking. Yeah, I was talking to 90 actuarians up till few months ago. They switched to my guide or switched to 90 Syrians now. And then they told me, they introduced themselves to me. They are non-physical. And they said, oh, they're here to help me to shift from old reality to new reality. So they specialized for it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And did I have any new conversation since then? No, no conversation whatsoever. So
Guys, where did you go?
yeah, so I was like kind of like at this uncertainty point. I wasn't really sure what I was doing so far was working because it doesn't seem like it. So of course, no matter how much ability you have when it comes to your own problem, that's my motto. It's a good idea to go ask someone else, some other professional, what your take of it. So I got a session from Shira Maria, and then she told me, hey, you're supposed to be a teacher, not a coach. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I mean, and then she was like, oh, you should be teaching more. You should be teaching more. So it kind of gave me the clarity. And then, it did give me a clarity. So then I thought, after I read everything she wrote, I was like, this totally makes sense to me. And then I said to myself, how come my guide or my angels or, even Aster, like after I finished recording my channeling session for YouTube, he doesn't drop me the line or anything. Like,
I know. Hey, what about me? Thanks a lot.
yeah. So I wasn't really sure like why like nobody's talking, like just observing how I do. And then I had a I had an issue of that, too quiet. And then since I can channel, I don't think my vibration is like too low to connect with the beings, but they are very quiet. And then
Well, but I don't mean to interrupt you, but the point I think you're trying to get to is we have to ask.
yeah,
I'm like you when I'm high vibing and everything's fine, they're talking to me all the time. But when I'm worried about something or I'm really kind of struggling with something personal, you know, I try to be in my brain about it and make common sense about something or whatever. And then when that isn't working, oh, right, I got to ask.
yeah, but they don't
I
talk
have
to
to
me when
connect with them.
they don't talk to me when I'm high vibe either. They kind of stop talking to me altogether.
Yeah. So you're like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Definitely
So,
asking for outside help. I agree with you.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So when that happens, maybe you guys gonna think like, oh, what's wrong with me? Like maybe I should meditate. Yeah, that's might be a good idea. And then, like you say, you should ask. That's a good idea too, because when I was doing the exercise with Shira, um, I happened to ask a question to Archangel Zadkiel. So I asked a question, and then he spoke back to me. And then I haven't really spoken to him, maybe like once or twice in my after awakening, maybe once. So it's not me and him; it's like constantly communicating with each other. And then I switched speaking to Archangel Michael about my fear, and then my fear of like if I'm not finishing my old relationship completely in the physical level, so my upgraded twin flame is not coming. That was my fear. Like I kind of had it. It's not huge fear, but I was concerned. Then he told me, "Don't worry about it. You did everything, anything you can do possible in human way. So everybody knows you did it. He knows too." So I was like, okay, that's the answer I needed to get. But yeah, so I did ask Archangel Miguel to come to me and talk to me. So he talked to me. So you're right. You have to ask.
Yeah.
When your guide or your team stop talking, maybe like don't wait passively to chat with you, like because that's how you used to communicate with your team. Maybe they think you can handle it, so they decided not to talk to you anymore.
I
But you
just got
still,
this really cool visual as you're saying that. It's just like when you're learning to ride a bike and maybe your parent is running alongside, and it's that moment when they let go because they know you got it. And so they're not
yeah,
constantly going pedal, 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 right? Like in the
yeah,
beginning, when we first started talking to our guides, like we heard them quite regularly. I mean, mine drop in just to tell me where to find stuff because I misplace things all the time. So that's what I mean by they're talking to me all the time. But when it comes to the big issues, I'm not hearing major nuggets coming in unless I ask.
yeah,
So it's like that parent, like our angels and guides could be like that parent that lets us go on the bicycle because they see that we have it, you know. But still, I mean, you could still crash your bike, and then you go, well, hey, yeah, I need a hand up. Can you help me get up, or can you kiss my boo boo?
yeah. I mean,
I'm
it's a
struggling right now. Could you give me a hand?
yeah. You should ask for help. Really. Um, Maybe sometimes your higher self. I'm pretty sure the reason why I decided to get help from Shir Maria was probably my higher self did it. The reason why was YouTube deleted my subscription of her. So I don't find her, and I do subscribe a bunch of people. So I wasn't seeing her for a while. And then suddenly I thought about her, and I was like, okay, I went to her page and I realized it's not subscribed. So I was like, what's happened? I didn't unsubscribe. So I unsubscribed back to her, and they started listening the new content like December and January. I kind of binge watched her, and then I think that made me feel like, okay, I need a help, like I need a hack lady, because she's a really good psychic for Stashi. I'm a Stashi, so I'm like, okay, she's the right person to be go to. So I did that, and then I got an answer. So sometimes your guide or your higher self gonna tell you to contact with certain human being, right? To
Hmm.
get help from, or they're gonna help you directly, whichever the case, right? So, but it's important to be open to be helped, because we are still not 5D yet, and we are 4.8D. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. So we still wobble. So that's a human. I don't really think everybody, even someone who is like super spiritual or something, cannot be super stabilized, like
Well,
energetically.
that's what we're going for.
Mhm.
I know there's times where I've been in higher dimensional energy in this body. I would even say sometimes I've been 670, you know what I mean, depending on what's going on, but sustaining it over
Yeah,
time. That's what we're talking about, not like you've never been 5D or you've never been even at higher dimensional energy. Yeah, I mean, I think we touch bits and pieces of that. Some people, they call it a spiritual experience, or maybe some, what would they call it in religion? It's like a, oh, I can't think of that term.
epiphany.
No, it's like some people that have actually seen, Jesus or Mary, and they're in rapture. That's the word. It's not that people can't have those experiences, but we're talking about getting to the point where we're
All the
literally
time.
bringing heaven on earth, and where it's a regular experience, not something we have to work to maintain.
Yeah, but at this point we still have to, in a way. So my advice for you guys is letting go is one of the best way to raise your vibration. So it's a good idea to work on yourself and then let stuff go. Whatever it is no longer like serving you. I do that
Good,
every day. you
good
know
piece. I try to as well.
yeah.
Want
and
to
then
talk to the go? Oh, you weren't done. Sorry.
and then meditate. I'm not saying meditation gonna solve everything, it doesn't, but to keep your core vibration stable, even though it's kind of wobble, it's a good idea to meditate even 5-10 minutes a day. It's almost like same as brushing teeth, right? You do that as a habit, so you know
For your benefit and for your health.
yeah.
So you want to do the meditation for your benefit and your health,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual health, emotional health, physical health, blah, blah, blah. But you get the point. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of a little bit off the topic. But I kind of realized after you raise certain amount of vibration, even you started eating junk food, it doesn't affect you anymore. I'm not like telling you to eat junk food, but it's just after a certain point, it doesn't affect you anymore because
Okay.
your body is changing from carbon body to light body. So it's not as seriously affecting you, means bring your vibration down. So those of you who are like insisting all of us have to be a vegetarian, which is maybe good for you because of your family physical structure, you can be physically healthy and muscular or stuff like that, but some people cannot sustain with that lifestyle.
Right.
So each of us do have a different alien genetic DNA thing physically because of our family blood background and stuff like that. So that too, but even after that, when our body is starting to changing from a carbon body to light body, even we eat like junk food, it doesn't affect you that much anymore.
That's good news because I like my junk food.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of started eating that last month because
I
I
made
was,
a joke. I made a joke, but I talked to my team about this too. And because
what did
I
they
have
say?
like I have a sweet tooth. And after sessions, or sometimes even after shooting these videos with you, I noticed that like I need sugar, not just food, but I needed sugar like right now. And I'm like, what is going on with the sugar thing? And they said that maintaining a certain frequency for over a period of time, it takes a lot of energy. So back then, when I was having those sugar cravings, what my body was like, I was flying in those high, especially if I was doing a session, you're flying in that high energy for a while, and your body goes, holy shit, we need quick energy right now. Like I can't wait for 2 hours to digest it. I need you to eat something that we can use right now, because the body
Mhm.
like has to catch up with that. I don't really have that too much anymore, but once in a while still, so it's you got to listen to your body. What's it asking you for? If it's meat, have meat. If it's sugar, have sugar. If it's, I mean, and I just recently read a study too where now scientists are catching up with the fact that a low sodium diet is not necessarily good for you. Guess what? Our bodies are electric. It needs sodium to for the energy to go through it. So some of these people that were on extreme low sodium diets, they were actually having heart problems because the heart beats on the electricity of the body. So if you don't have enough salt, so I mean, if you're craving a little bit of salt, eat something salty.
Yeah.
It's just it's not rocket science. It really isn't. It's not like some formula that, hundreds of people have studied over, so many years and now they've come up with one formula that works for everybody. It's not that way. Like you said, we all have different DNA. We all have different origins and, our blood background has a lot to do with what kind of foods are good for us and what works for us.
Yeah, it does. And also, those of you, I've been only eating like organic food since my spiritual awakening up till 2 months ago. But now I kind of said to realize it doesn't have to be organic. I'm okay with that. Means,
Yeah.
I don't get any kind of bad effect from it. So also, when you believe you're enjoying this food and you're appreciating it, even though it's so-called junk food, as long as you're appreciating it, because I haven't eaten ramen noodle for ages, and then I kind of decided eating it like for lunch, and then I'm okay with it.
I love a good ramen every once in a while. The broth, I mean, it just makes me feel warm from the inside out. And sometimes I just want that starch. I don't
Yeah,
really feel like eating meat, but I want some nice warm broth and I want a little bit of starch. But that it is a topic we should talk about in future, which is, we can transmute anything.
yeah,
We
that's
have
a good
talked about it
topic to
before,
talk
but I
about.
think we could revisit that now that you're mentioning it, because I think it's a really important topic. And maybe back when we talked about it, I don't know, a year and a half ago, maybe people weren't ready to accept that as possible. I think people are getting ready to accept that as possible.
Yeah.
So, maybe we can plan on covering that topic again.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
we can do it next week because part of my advice I got from Shira is stop talking about politically correct manner. Just say what you mean, and
mhm.
that's how I used to talk, right? And then maybe like I can just go back to how I'm talking because like we should go into that topic too, like a politically correctness of speech
Yeah.
and everything, and the manipulation and the control. That's a kind of topic I want to talk about in the future. However,
Mhm.
it's a good idea to say what you mean. I mean, I
Mhm.
usually say what I mean, but because of the censorship and everything, I kind of decided to go more soft way to expressing things. Maybe it's a good idea to start talking how
Yeah,
it
we
is.
need to bust out of that. That's some bullshit. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
gonna call it what it is, but that's a control mechanism, and that whole PC started, quite some time ago, and, boy,
I
was it
think
heavy
it
when I
started
was.
90s, like in the beginning 90s.
I felt it the most, when I was in college for my master's degree. I mean, it was just unreal, and then they came up with the term microaggression. I feel
I
like
don't remember about
I
that
was
micro.
stating, oh yeah. Well, I mean, I was in, college for my master's in social work, and um, that was a great buzzword. That was their way of saying, oh, you can't speak freely because I'm feeling like that's a microaggression. Well, guess what? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. But it was a control mechanism. Anyway, don't get me started on that topic until you're really
Yeah.
ready to talk about it because I can go on and on on, and I'm sure people
Well,
have things to do.
we might
But
talk about that some other
we'll
time,
talk about it. Yeah.
but
I do
yeah.
want to add one thing before we go about the 5D
Mhm.
manifestation, and that's
Yeah.
the whether you want to call yourself a truther or just somebody that's walking in the light and seeing the truth and all of that kind of stuff. You understand media control, you understand cabal, you understand what's really going on with COVID, all of that kind of stuff. These are the folks I'm talking to right now. You know about it, you understand it. Please get off it, because constantly regurgitating that stuff, the reason you awakened to it and you were understanding the truth is so you could understand that it's happening and be awake, not woke, awake. Um, but ruminating on it and keep regurgitating it and keep talking about it and keep going on about it and trying to wake other people up, all you're doing is staying in that energy. And that is not how we get to 5D manifestation. So I just want to kind of, I'm not trying to sound preachy, but Eric and I have been talking for some time now about how we got to get out of media and this and that and the other thing. And guess what? When you're in your spiritual group on Facebook or Instagram or wherever it is you're having these conversations, if you keep talking about it and repeating it over and over again, you're staying in that energy.
I mean, you're
And that's,
feeding energy to the structure.
yeah, you're giving them what they want, which
Yeah.
is anger,
Fear.
resentment. You want revenge, all those wonderful lower energies. That's what's keeping you from
The
getting up to
hate.
that higher level.
Yeah.
Hate.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's a good idea. And then, to stop watching unless that's going to excite you, means excite you in a good way, make you happy or something. But being awakened um, doesn't mean, I'm talking about truth level,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you're spiritually awakened. Maybe, Ashton told me, because you started to look for the truth or whatever, then you're going to be more open-minded. So you're going to be open-minded to be spiritually awakened. I didn't go through that route. That my truth journey was after my spiritual awakening. But anyhow, so knowing the truth is the, I guess, opening for you to be more open-minded to other kind of truth outside of a religion, or all kind of things. Because to go to 5D means we don't really go there, but to expand our consciousness to 5D vibration, we be accepting differences. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about just different race. I'm talking about different opinions, different political party, different religion. If somebody gonna bullshit you, I mean, no, sorry, somebody gonna tell you your Bible is piece of shit, you're okay with that because you believe in your truth, and then you kind of like respect the other person's truth, and you can have adult conversation to respecting each other's truth. So that's part of being a 5D society, because if you cannot accept someone who is different, how can you accept a galactic being who is so different from us? Some of them do look like humans, some of them do not look like humans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's this is a playing ground to accepting differences before we go to that level.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
some,
finding personal power, being able to say, this is what I believe, and I'm not really worried about what anybody thinks about it. And
yeah,
and being able to go ahead and if you feel called to expressing it, but not really feeling like you have to, because you're okay with what you believe.
yeah,
Um
I mean,
and
yeah,
then being open, something else may come along, some experience or piece of information, and you're being willing to be flexible and say, yeah, this is my belief right now, but it might change. Not
yeah,
being so rigid. The rigidity anger, they all seem to be a similar frequency. Try to be flexible, but like Erica said, yeah, I mean, if we can't agree to disagree and still have a chat about it, and over dinner, we're just having a nice conversation about it and walk away not being angry about it, how are we going to accept the Galactics? I mean, no wonder they haven't come. They haven't come yet because nobody could handle it. Well, few
Yeah.
people could, because a few people have been awake for a very long time, but the rest of us would have been freaking out.
Yeah, so it is very important to accepting the differences, not because it's a politically correctness. It's like advanced, matured civilization, which Earth
Hmm.
is not. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to report you the news. Earth isn't a civilized nation.
I think it's funny, all the people that love Star Wars and Star Trek. Um, I mean, the multitude of different beings in those two shows, especially Star Wars. You've seen some, civilizations that you're kind of like, oh, that's a bug with a consciousness. Um, but yet, if you were to have a serious conversation with people that love those shows and say, well, what if that's how it really is? I mean, what if there are beings like this, and they're not too far away from us, and maybe someday you'll meet them? They think you were nuts. So, let's open up our mind a little bit and say, it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, starting from accepting different opinions. Like, for example, Sky was saying to do the project with people, talk about political thing, religion thing, and I forgot what else she said. Politics, religion, and then something else. But something like controversial, so people going to get really pissed off. That kind of makes sense because when you reach certain consciousness, means 5D consciousness, you are okay to accept a different opinion
Yeah.
because
Because you've taken your personal power. You know that hearing somebody else's opinion is not threatening you in any way because you're allowed to have yours.
yeah, and
It's
the
like,
other person is allowed to have theirs too.
yeah, so it's not, I mean, people that get upset about other people's opinions are just like worried about it endangering their own in some way. Or that, maybe maybe in the background of their psyche, they realize that, oh, maybe I don't know it all. Maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe everything that I believed in up until now, there's some room for variation. Whereas I was very stern in my belief system and not accepting any outside possibilities. That's why people get threatened, by what somebody else says or does, because it challenges their belief system. But what if we get to the point where our belief system is flexible enough to, yeah, maybe it could change. I
Yeah,
believe this right now, but maybe tomorrow I'll believe something else or some variation of it, but it's not the exact same thing.
and then you can
That
do
would be
that.
okay.
And then hearing other people's opinion or point of view, flexible way, that's going to expand your consciousness too. So that's going to show you how mature you are as a human being or species. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, she told me religion, race, and the politics. That's a hot spot for most of the people who haven't reached higher consciousness. So, you know,
Yep.
yeah, maybe food too, because some people are crazy, like, toward the people who eat meat.
I call them food Nazis. Yeah.
And
But yeah.
just because those of people who are, including myself, do eat meat, it doesn't mean we don't give a shit about animals. I feel the vibration. That's part of the reason I stopped eating for a whole year, and then my weight became like a significantly low. And then you have a friend who is a model is telling you, "Are you okay?" That's a bad shape. Okay, even though
That's skinny.
yeah, even though you know what you're doing in a delicious way, your body might not be built to be a vegetarian or vegan or whatever, right?
Yep.
So you can eat whatever hell you want. It makes you happy, it's fine. No one can police you what to do.
Yeah, just really enjoy it, stop being guilty about it. If you're gonna go have that junk food, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And eat it slowly so you can really enjoy it. Like, don't shove it down. It's like everything in life. If you really, really want something and then you finally get it, enjoy it. Don't take it for granted. I think that raises our vibration too.
Yeah, I eat fast too because of the family habit, but that's okay. You can do that too. But
I've become
anyhow,
my father in my family. Just a quick story. Like we'd all be done eating and I was usually a pretty slow eater, but my dad took the cake every time. Everybody be done and half an hour later, why you all eat so fast? And he's still eating and his food's cold. I'd have to warm his plate because he ate so slow. Anyway, I've become my father now because everybody's done eating and I'm still sitting there cutting my, whatever, and I'm still eating, but it's because I'm really enjoying it, and I'm paying attention to it, the texture, the taste, the temperature. And I also, I'll just say I put my gratitude into my food because I want the right energy from my food.
yeah,
So
that's the
whether,
right attitude. So don't
yeah,
watch TV when you're eating food and shove it in your mouth because you don't even know what you're eating.
true.
That's my advice. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
when you're eating with the family, I sound like so traditional, but you're sitting down together. Why don't you talk to each other instead of staring at the TV? Okay, or
Oh,
phone.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, if you're alone, maybe, but if you're
Yeah.
together, talk about what happened for today or what you did or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So,
but see, that's one of the old-fashioned things that I do like. Um, is, you know, if you just, even if you can't do it every day, I mean, because everybody, busy doing their own schedules and their own things, but when you do have the opportunity to sit down and eat together or play cards together or whatever, enjoy it.
yeah,
Make something out of it,
definitely.
actually get to know what's happening in each other's day. I mean, wow.
Hmm.
It's not like some otherworldly concept. It really does make sense.
Yeah, and then, after you reach certain level of dimension, you're no longer going to eat food. So enjoy it while we can do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Galactic beings in higher frequency don't eat food.
I know.
We don't need food. So while
It's
we can
funny, I
eat
used to
food,
joke and say I wish they'd make meals in pills so that we could just I didn't have to cook, I didn't have to meal plan, I didn't have to do all of that, but quite frankly, once we get to that dimension, I think I'm gonna miss ice cream.
yeah. Yeah. So we enjoy while we are here. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So thank you so much for being with us today. And then we're gonna bring whatever the topic we say we're gonna talk next week. Yeah, about food. So please share
What
like
did we say? What did we say we were gonna talk about next week? I forgot already. I'm gonna have to look at this again.
I think about food. I don't remember. So
Oh, I know, transmutation.
transmutation,
I'll
right?
write it down.
So
All right.
yeah, so we see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.